slight problem. That's twice now. There's obviously some bug. Doing this in 2020 is pretty unusual. The sim brief doesn't work in 24, as in the importing. God, the weather will have changed by the time we get to the runway.
Logger 007 wind check.
Wind 260 degrees, 3 knots.
Okay, same winds. Now I did put this in the aircraft, but I think I've reset it all. Altitude. VNAV. Setting 7,000. 102 too many.
Rouge 2103, gate 11, request pushback and engine start. Rouge 2103, Keflavik ground, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back. Hold position, Rouge 2103. Rouge 2103, Keflavik ground, pushback approved, face east. Pushback and engine start approved, face east, Rouge 2103. ISO 432 heavy, contact Keflavik Tower 118.3.
This guy's probably coming in, isn't he?
Heavy, bye-bye.
With Beyond ATC, they should detect that I'm here, so we shouldn't direct him left into me. If he does. Or is he taking off? If he's taking off, that's fine. Well, no, he's taking off, so...
Logger 007, contact Keflavik Tower 118.3, have a good day.
Right, let's hold at this little dotted line here, as he's holding for an arrival, is he? Right, the runway's here to the right.
Logger 007, contact Keflavik Tower 118.3, have a good day.
Over to the tower on 118.3. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Contact Tower 118.3, Logger 007, good day.
Give it twice a good measure. So this is live flight radar traffic. So if you go to flight radar, you'll see this plane taking off now. I mean, sometimes it's maybe because of the data it's mil too, so in real life it might have already just taken off. But although I've got the traffic turned down as a lower quantity, so it's taking the real traffic and then just picking. I don't know quite how it does it. You know, if there's 6 planes waiting, it will just choose 3 or something. But it is based off flight radar, so. But I did do a test at Heathrow with it all turned up. I couldn't, even with frame gen at 280 frames, that was in 24. It you know, I was running at less than 10 frames per
ISO
second.
432 heavy, contact Keflavik departure 119.3.
Contact Keflavik departure 119.3, ISO 432 heavy.
Right, so we'll go to this next hold line and then request permission to depart. And I need to do my lights and my RPMs. Night hours like an IT help desk in India, yeah. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Okay. Right, so I will go anti-collision lights on. I will go landing lights on. I will go max RPM. So we're good, right? Let's request departure.
Log Air 007, ready for departure, runway 19er.
Logger 007, Keflavik Tower, wind 260 degrees 3 knots, runway 19er, cleared for takeoff. Caution wake turbulence.
Hey, let's get out of here. There's a plane waiting behind me.
Logger 007, Keflavik Tower, wind 260 degrees 3 knots, runway 19er, cleared for takeoff. Caution wake turbulence.
I didn't acknowledge it, but let's skip that.
Runway 19er, cleared for takeoff, log Air 007.
Rouge 2103, ready for departure, runway 19er.
Plane behind
Rouge
me.
2103, number 2 for departure. Hold short of runway 19er.
Hold short of runway 19er, Rouge 2103.
Okay. Let's go.
Rouge 2103, runway 19er, line up and wait.
Runway
knots.
19er, line up and wait, Rouge 2103.
100 knots. VR, let's go. A positive rate. Gear up. The flaps can come away. And we'll go on the autopilot.
Rouge 2103, Keflavik Tower, wind 260 degrees 3 knots, runway 19er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 19er, cleared for takeoff, Rouge 2103.
Logger 007 with a transponder, squawk 6040.
Oops. Changes
Squawk 6040, log Air 007.
Okay, this thing's gone up like a rocket. Probably because I did flight change rather than... But that's fine. Right, I've got to change the transponder. So I need to select it in this aircraft, then twiddle some knobs. 6040. Zero 40.
Rouge 2103, contact Keflavik departure 119er decimal 3.
Contact Keflavik departure 119er, decimal 3, Rouge 2103.
That is set. Okay. And speed limits here, no auto throttle, so I forgot about the speed. Be leveled off at 6,000. Fine, bring it back. Now I don't know, this one's, I don't have my, I had it before, I haven't got the plane, it's just showing me the next, not centered on me. Be like plan. For whatever reason we're not on it. Okay, so we are up and away at 6,000. We are doing this departure. Okay, we're not on it for some reason. Kind of are, but parallel. Unless I chose the wrong.
ISO 695, holding short, runway 19er.
ISO 695, Keflavik Tower, wind 260 degrees 3 knots, runway 19er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 19er, cleared for takeoff, ISO 695.
Lots of things going wrong today. We are inbound to Ralov, that's correct. Not on heading. Okay. Lots of weird stuff.
Logger 007, contact Keflavik departure 119.3.
Over to departure 119.3, thank you, goodbye.
My pleasure, enjoy your flight.
Enjoy your flight. Logger 007 with you at 6,000 for Ralov.
Logger 007, Keflavik departure identified, climb flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, thank you, 007. Okay, let's get up. Let's go! 19,000. So our cruise is 38,000 today. Okay, flight level change. I don't want speed. 230, we're going to have to go 170, 160 for best climb speed. Might as well spend all day.
Keflavik departure, ICR 6905, passing 1,500 feet, climbing to 6,000 feet. ICR 6905, Keflavik departure, good day, identified, climb flight level 170. Climb flight level 170, ICR 6905.
So I've got Microsoft 24 up for Sunday, but I'm probably going to buy it this time. I just can't be asked to keep testing it and stuff, but I'll have to find some money to get it. No point really until probably next week, and then I've got to see if I've got to redo all the settings. I'm getting a lot of You shouldn't have so much problems with frame rate now, so I'm going to turn off. Here we go. I'm going to turn off DLS. This doesn't have the times 6/7 thing that 24 has, but you'll see get a much clearer image of the propellers and everything without the frame gen in 20. But I'll drop to like 20 frames, 25 frames or something without frame gen on. If I put frame gen on in 2020, I get like 60 or 70, but I can get like 280, 290 and 24.
It's no accident we're here.
So
What do you think is going on? These things are gonna end up
I
being
need to put some other music on. Okay. I'm doing 170, 19,000. I don't know what's going on with this map. It's not doing what it did last time. So it'll be soon. Time to put the kettle on again.
Keflavik departure, ICR 4 Bravo Echo, good day, passing 1,600 feet, climbing to flight level 100. ICR 4 Bravo Echo, Keflavik departure, identified, climb flight level 180.
Are their
Climb
radio
flight
calls
level
too loud?
180, ICR 4 Bravo Echo.
Turn beyond ATC stuff down, but put it down. That. Okay, we're doing 1,400 feet a minute rise.
Cruise 2103, contact Reykjavik, control 119.7.
That to me is a bit quiet now, but it probably comes loud on the stream, but I need to be able to hear my call.
ICR 432 Heavy, contact Reykjavik, control 119.7.
Contact Reykjavik control 119.7. ICR 432 Heavy, bye-bye.
I think going on with these, I've not got on. That's better at that, showing the plane coming up to 50 there, 25 here. That's interesting. Got a 20 difference on the prop. Think off again. That shouldn't really happen with sync, and I'm not using.
Keflavik departure, Scandinavian 596, passing 1,600 feet, climbing to flight level 100.
Scandinavian 596, Keflavik departure, identified, climb flight level 180.
Climb flight level 180, Scandinavian 596.
Okay, I need to go to standard. Forgot to do that. Standard, and we can do the lights. Fill the lights up over 10,000. Configured for cruise. Okay.
Iceland 6905, contact Reykjavik control 119.7. Contact Reykjavik control 119.7, Iceland 6905, good day.
Right, I want to go put the kettle on. You have to listen out if they call me to switch frequency, or we should get clearance to 38,000 feet soon. I've got to get to the 19, I guess.
Nokia 007, contact Reykjavik control 119.7.
Over to Reykjavik control 119.7. Over to 119.7. To Reykjavik control. Thank you, 007. Pressing the undercarriage button instead of push to talk. Right, I think I best wait to put the kettle on until we're about to get 19,000. Right, have we got anybody watching us on YouTube? Okay, 1,000 to go. I've got to announce.
Reykjavik control, log air 007, passing flight level 183, climbing to flight level 190, direct Ralov.
Nokia 007, Reykjavik control, identified, climb flight level 380.
Yeah. Climb to flight level 380, 007, many thanks. Okay. We need this for the fuel and the speed. $38,000 is set. Okay, we'll do flight level change, and we'll probably want to bring this speed down to our best climb. 160, so although it slows us up, it climbs us at the best rate, is what is in the book, in the manual. I probably need to keep it in the 90s for the climb. Hoping we've got enough fuel. A little bit of extra. Right, cup of tea time. We can set up the tea. This one doesn't have, I don't think this one has things. I thought this popped out. You have to find the click spots if they have them. Remember, oh yeah, we do. Let's go with box lunch. So somebody's having lunch, people are doing a bit of work. I think, what they do, I was going to say, yeah, it could be actually right in the middle there.
Wismota 7 Sierra Yankee, Reykjavik control identified.
Nothing gets simulated on the screen. Some add-ons you can give like a static picture or something, but you know, or there's some shimmering going on here, which isn't the frame gen because I've turned it off, but must be. Okay, looks like we've got fairly good weather. What's the wind doing for us at the moment? We have got 14 knots coming from our right. It's not a headwind, slightly pushing us a little bit. And our ground speed is 238. That's slow because normally we'd do like about 260, 270, but we're in the climb, so the ground speed, true air speed is going to be quite slow. We're at minus 32 degrees outside. And the cabin pressure and stuff in this plane is done automatically. Some planes get you to manage it. Oh no, I've got a cabin pressure warning. That's because we were on, I don't know. I normally don't have to click anything. Okay, we're at Ralov making this right turn. Never messed around with this in MI flights, so again, another thing that's in auto, so it's in auto, so it should do it. Right, making a cup of tea. I don't want to mess around with it too much. It's still on auto, so it should have. Maybe I didn't have the bleed airs on. Maybe not. Put the hydraulics on. I mean, certainly those bleed airs should be on. Yes, I think that's why it wasn't working. Although I fiddled with that now. Right. That should sort itself out. What are we at? 29,000, so we got 8,000 to go over.
Reykjavik control, ISA for Bravo Echo, passing flight level 150, climbing to flight level 180, direct Oscom. ISA for Bravo Echo, Reykjavik control identified, climb flight level 370. Climb flight level 370, ISA
Right,
for Bravo
that's not going
Echo.
to show anything while we're over the sea. Yeah, it was definitely those bleed airs not being on, but this cabin altitude should come down. I've kind of already messed it up, whether it will reset now, I don't know. Right. My tea.
Reykjavik control, Scandinavian 596, passing flight level 150, climbing to flight level 180.
Scandinavian 596, Reykjavik control identified, climb flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, Scandinavian 596.
With Malta 7 Sierra Yankee, descend via star to 3,000 feet, QNH 1019.
Descend via start to 3,000 feet, QNH 1019, with Malta 7 Sierra Yankee.
Was that a call for me? Was that someone else?
ISA for 32 heavy, contact Reykjavik control 125.7.
Oh no, that was with Malta.
125.7,
I
ISA
said-
432 heavy.
Right, we're trying to hold. That speed's too slow.
Logger 007, contact Reykjavik control 125.7, have a good
That's
day.
for us. Over to Reykjavik Control 125.7. Thanks very much. Have a good day yourself. Logger with you, Reykjavik Control at flight level 3504380.
Logger 007, Reykjavik Control identified.
Okay, identified. There's no air stewardesses on the flight, so I'm going to get my own cup of tea.
ICF 432 Heavy, contact Reykjavik Control 128.6, good day. Contact Reykjavik Control 128.6, ICF 432 Heavy.
I'm running out of milk. Right, are we at 38,000 feet yet? No. We're only going any slower. We're only doing 700 feet a minute.
Logger 007, contact Reykjavik Control
We're nearly there,
128.6.
37, so just about 1,000 feet to go. Over to 128.6, 007. Logger Air 007 with you at 3704380.
Aircraft calling, say call sign.
Logger 007 with you.
Logger 007, Reykjavik Control identified.
We're still with Reykjavik Control, but they keep switching the frequencies, don't they? Right, let me catch up on chat. Thanks for doing the tea. You've got an email from the lotto saying you've won a prize. Woohoo! Oh, £2. Oh, is it £2 or 2 million? It's probably £2. If it's 2 million. Yeah, no, if you do it on the app or the website, which I do, they send you a winning notification. Normally you get it by about 1 AM if you won something. If you don't normally get it by 1 AM, then normally oh well, check that box in. Right, we're at altitude finally, so we'll start to speed up. Like this tune. I love this kind of female vocalist sort of stuff, like soft and just always love it. £10. Oh, well, that's better than 2. I'll pay for the next few tickets for you. Shame it's not 2 million though. So well done, mate. Well done. But I usually, I mean, if it's under 25 quid, I normally just keep it in there and buy tickets with it. If it's like 50 or more or something, I'll take the money out. But I don't know, I have one more. Used to win quite often, like 10 and 20 pounds here or there, but I haven't won more than say 10 quid for like
432 Heavy, contact Reykjavik Control 125
5, 6 years, I think.
Good day.
Contact Reykjavik Control 125.
It's all a bit of a scam now. It's a shame, you know. They just did more numbers and more money. You know, I don't know why. You know, it's meant to be something that people can win, and they just changed all the goalposts. So that a lot of people don't play it now like they used to because you know the chances are so ridiculously small. Plus the price increases. Just keep it at £1. Keep it fairly realistic. I'd rather win, you know, 20 quid here or 100 quid there or 1,000 quid here than, you know, some 200 million jackpot you're never going to win. Right, we're zipping along. The speed's starting to come up. It's going to take a while though because, well, what's going on now? Now I'm
Reykjavik Control, Rouge 2103, flight level 368.
having another problem.
Rouge 2103, Reykjavik Control identified.
Why am I doing it? I can't like the cursor's gone. I can't click on the sim. I can't even click on the page to minimize it. I can use the PC though. And what's going on with this as well? We're not really where we're meant to be. Yes. Oh, can't do anything if I go out the aircraft. Oh, don't tell me we're going to have to scrap it. Wait, something's happened. As soon as I hover over the game, it's not in a click mode. It's doing something. It's scrolling, but it's not. It's today, man. I've had so many issues. I just want to have fun, and it's like this is probably 10th fault I've had this morning with something. Right, could be flight over here, people. We might sort this out. It feels like it's trapped in some mode, but right click in, left click in. Re-clicking the game doesn't change it. I mean, my mouse is working because, you know, I can click other stuff. Already clear by now.
Rouge 2103, contact Reykjavik Control 128.2.
Center on 128.2, Rouge 2103.
That's how it's doing it. I've never had this happen, and it's happened twice today. I mean, it's not like the game's crashed or stopped. We're still flying, but I can't interact with the game at all. beyond ATC, I can shut it down. We'll just have to go without it, but don't know that that's the issue though.
Logger 007, radio check.
Logger 007, reading you loud and clear.
While it's okay in the cruise, if I don't get control soon, I'm not going to be able to interact or throttles work. Nope, even the throttle slider. Whoops. No. Oh, that's cleared it. That is weird. That is weird. Now the cursor's gone back to a pointer again. Okay, we're good. We're Gucci, but I mean, I loaded up this morning and my controller was not working. Then I loaded up OBS. Then my mic wasn't working. I reloaded everything, and that was fine. Then the sim froze when I booted up beyond ATC. Then I had to reset everything again, reset the PC. Then we had the issues taken off with the plane not moving, even though parking brake was off and they're using the slew mode. Which I don't know what's causing that. And then I've had two issues interacting with the plane where it's just sort of that's something to do with disk imaging.
Reykjavik Control Asia 6905, good day, flight level 380.
And that was weird because it wasn't the controller. I mean, if it just been the mouse, then I was able to interact with everything else. But the game, had the mouse stuck in some kind of I don't know what the two arrows mean, left and right, but. Yeah, it's nothing to do with my deal. Most of my issues to do with my motherboard and USB ports, but when you get random shit like the plane won't move, you know, the sim's working out. I mean, it's nothing to do with the game or the PC. That stuff. That's to do with the sim itself. Too much stuff to do with. A clean install. I do need to do clean installs around, but I've got so much stuff from Microsoft Flight Simulator. If I get a new PC, a Microsoft 24, a new Windows, then obviously I can get that all clean installed. But that's weird because I mean I've had it where like my PC's froze, and that's to do with my motherboard and USB, but it wasn't that because it was fine. You know, it's fine bringing all this stuff across, but there was something wrong with the sim because it wouldn't. But then it cleared itself. Anyway, let's not overthink it. Nothing I can do about it. Working now, so we can. Pretty up here, isn't it? 38,000, that's the music going out to the outlet.
Greenland 781 heavy, leave 65N040W heading 290 when able, proceed direct Nuke. Leave 65N040W heading 290 when able, proceed direct Nuke.
Yeah, but I've reset my motherboard, I've messed around with my BIOS, I've done everything. You know, the problems I'm having with the motherboard and stuff are one, the age of the motherboard, and I actually think sometimes there's a physical loose connection that you know, when you do something, plug something in and out. But I mean, then I wasn't, you know, I'm not touching the PC. And as I say, it wasn't that something USB wasn't working. That was something specifically to do with Microsoft Simulator. So problems I'm having today are kind of different from the ones I've had before. But the only real solution for my other issues to do with the USBs is to have a new PC, because I've done everything. I've changed the batteries on the motherboard, I've, you know, done the firmware, I've, you know, reset the, when I get the issues where the PC then sometimes won't even boot into Windows and things, I've had to reset the motherboard multiple times. But it's not, that's the issues I've had today, aren't that? Something different, something to do with the software of the game. But it's all a bit banjaxed.
Reykjavik Control 128.2. Contact Reykjavik Control 128.2, Greenland 781 Heavy.
But Microsoft Simulator does have a lot of I don't know what I could look it up. With the arrows sideways, with it's like in the sim it got locked into thinking it was turning some module or something. So it wasn't in the normal pointer mode. Right, so we're going to be like this for a while. Need to get my speed up still a bit more if I can. Come back a little bit on. Oops. Yep. I want to get these down to about 1800. A little bit less fuel flow. Cruise. Speeds, but we should really be about 210, 215, but I'm gonna probably creep up. I don't want to do. Boxing had won 2 million. He could have bought himself a PC and chuck me some money for a PC. But tenner won't go far in this day and age, will it? I mean, the tickets now for the Euro lottery are $2.50 a ticket. And it does it twice a week. I don't do the stuff every day now.
Contact Reykjavik Control 128.2.
From this new UK.
Contact Reykjavik Control 128.2, ACS 6905.
Isn't it? But and even the standard lotto that used to be £1, they went 150, now it's 2. So what, you got 2 Euro lotteries, so that's a £5, and then the others. So it's £9 a week, nearly £40 a month if you were doing Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Reykjavik Control, Greenland 774, good day, flight level 370.
Greenland 774, Reykjavik control identified.
Right, so I don't know why we weren't on that line. We're on it now, but this leg we sort of flew a couple miles to the north of it for some reason. But we're inbound to this 6330N. Whoops, didn't do that. Rotated. No! Let's just get... There we go. Oh, that noise. OBS Studio disconnect, reconnect. My stream down? Can people tell me if the stream's still going? I just got a message saying OBS, don't give me new. I mean, OBS just disconnecting, reconnecting. I've never ever had that warning come up on my PC. And that's not even via a USB. It looks okay to you. Can you check YouTube as well? Thing is, even if it breaks for a second, it also creates another. If we're going, but then that's just adding to my stress levels today, because this is meant to be a nice chill flight, and I just keep having. I mean, what's all that about? Up in the right corner saying OBS disconnect, reconnect. That's not even a USB thing. Still looks like it's still running though, so. Oh dear. This is a doomed flight. So yeah, anyway, I was saying we got quite a long leg then, 283 nautical miles on this leg. And then this leg's still quite long, 146 as we get in. But then what we're going to do is literally fly right over the airport and then turn south 18 miles to get to Teski and then backtrack around. And it's a very small airport, very small runway. This plane should cope for it, but it's a bit graphically it's a bit messed up here because it's not a. So we should make taxiways A and B if I stick it on the point, but if we end up drifting, sometimes I have to get off at this last one. So add the weather. Kind of looks like we're gonna be okay for weather. Looks like there's no weather. Some weather, but it's to the north, so that's all good. Obviously didn't disconnect because I say the stream would have. I've never had that one. Sitting there on my desktop running away, why would it say? I'll laugh. I need to remember to turn frame John on before we land so that I can get better frame rates for the landing. The cabin thing sorted itself out. That's because I didn't turn on the bleed airs and so that was a me problem. And then the next leg is from this Narsarsuaq, again about 3-hour flight into Goose Bay in Canada, and then to fly from Canada to the top of USA, it's quite long. I think that's another 3 3-hour flight. I've not routed it yet, so whether we go sort of Chicago way or Wisconsin or something like that, and then but eventually we're flying to San Jose in California. So it'll probably be a leg or two to get into the States, and then there are probably about 3 more legs, 4 more legs from Canada at least. There's some good weather app things in the game, Rex Weather and Strata WX, which I'm looking at getting, but I probably wouldn't get them unless I had Microsoft 24, only because some of them do both, but some of them just do one. And they add more Cirrus Strata, they add more layers, and it looks even more realistic, even though default isn't.
Control Delta 20 Heavy, flight level 390.
Okay, we're doing a slight turn as we just...
Delta 20 Heavy, Reykjavik Control. Good morning, identified. Continue descent to flight level 370.
Continue descent to flight level 370, Delta 20 Heavy.
No, the 24 trial runs out on the weekend, Sunday I think. I'm not sure the times. I've cancelled the recurring charge, so it will end at the weekend, but then I might buy 24, but then as I say, I've just got to justify spending the money and getting all set up, and I don't know, part of me thinks with the aging PC I've got CPU and USBs, it's all a little bit, because there's nothing worse than spending all that money and then not, you know, having issues because your PC won't start or the USBs aren't detected. And but you know, I go whole periods of weeks and months with no issues with the PC, and then I keep hitting these periods where, you know,
Log Air 007, Reykjavik Control.
okay, 007, please tell me to do it.
Negative, Reykjavik Control on 128.2.
Over to 128.2, thank you, goodbye. Log Air 007, with you at flight level 380, inbound Greenland. Numbers. I forget now, they're all numbers, aren't they?
Log Air 007, Reykjavik Control identified.
6240N is my next. You've had quite a bit of rain, haven't you, Sargasso, yesterday and today or something? I was looking at some of the rain charts. And people are starting to get rain now, which is good, but we've had bits here, but it's all been very light rain. A bit of drizzle here and there, so nothing's going to get rid of our droughts, but thank God the weather's changed. I've now got a good week ahead of me or more that average temps for a change, so honestly, it's really been quite horrible the last 2 months. Tuesday, Wednesday next week at 24 degrees is the hottest. Woohoo! I don't know if that affects. Do your dogs like the weather? Do they like snow? Do they like rain? Or something? Are they, you know? I mean, the thing is, dogs in summer, really, you know, when it's 35 degrees or something, the pets. I mean, I know with the panting and they can regulate their heat a bit, but it's still very difficult. You know, cats often get very dehydrated. People don't realise how much water cats need. But yeah, the poor pets as well when you get these weather extremes, whichever way it is. They like you, so. They like it wherever they go. That's nice. That's great. Yeah, I'm probably sure we're gonna. I mean, I don't. You know, if it's a day or two, fine. But if it's a long period. The heat and the border collie are eager to go to work. You have to regulate them a bit, yeah. The Greek one doesn't care about the heat, so he just wants to sunbathe. Yeah. They should do some simulated pets on planes or something. Some of FS Reborn, I think, in their planes, they have like passenger comfort. And you have to serve them drinks, and if you throw the plane around or something, so they've just simulated a bit of a mini game. I don't have their planes at the moment. They've just done the new Venom 300, but I think its handling is a bit off at the moment. All we've got in here is a food service, but there's a few games that have, a few developers that have tried to add a bit of gamified stuff. You know, trying to keep your private passengers happy. You could do it with pets or something, you know, make sure that they're fed. Not too hot, not too cold. That's framed in off. Let's take a nice picture here. Still need to find out how to take a picture and where they go in 24, because that's a mystery to me. If 12 doesn't work, it's not. Not got too many sun rays or anything here. Quite like this type of shot. Underneath the aircraft, sun glare in the background. The thumbnail. Got any snacks for this flight? I ran out of my tortilla chips and I ran out of fruit. See, we've got, even in Microsoft Flight, as you can see, we've actually got a little bit of that reflection off the windscreen. Oh, that's reflection off the windscreen. The Microsoft weather and the clouds are pretty amazing, but if you use Rex Weather and Atmos, and the one of them's about £25, the other's about £12–14.
Lot 9024 heavy, contact Narsarsuaq radar 121.3. Contact Narsarsuaq radar 121.3. Lot
But they change the lighting a bit. They change how they make the clouds look even more realistic, and they also do a lot more of levels, strata levels and stuff. High cloud, hide the horizons and stuff. So, yeah, they're not too expensive, those, but I think Strata only came out in July, and it's for 24 only at the moment, and that's it has a bit of a problem that when it draws the weather in, it just pops it in or something, so the pop-in's a bit, so it looks great, but you keep getting these sort of Yankee pop-ins. But we're only in August, so if it's only been out like 5–6 weeks, hopefully they'll, but it looks amazing. You like the premise of the game, but the company making billions of profit asks for hundreds. Yeah, well, the game's the cheapest part, really. If you just buy the basic game, it's like 40–50 quid. All the other stuff, it's because the game's not really good enough, so you need to spend money for ATC. You need to spend money to get the weather looking good. You know, the planes are rubbish, so you have to get So I don't know, you could come up with some analogies. Microsoft Simulator is a bit like a golf course, but you've got to buy all your own gear and your clubs and, you know, your cart and your membership fee and everything like that. So, you know, what you get that works well and looks well with the base game is but it's just, you know, it's trying to recreate the world, and so, you know, third-party people always do a better job, and because they spend money and time and effort. Well, now the game's frozen. What have I done? You know, if they've got a bunch of people that work on a product, maintaining it for the future and using it, then, you know, they're going to charge for it. So, I mean, all those additional extras aren't, you know, you're not forced to take them, but I've now got my game frozen here. I'm going to do nothing for a while. Oh, you were talking about GTA 6. Okay, sorry I missed that. Yeah, I think for me, I think it's all going to be a bit woke and nonsense. Not like, I think the days of GTA 6 being what it was is gone. And you know, if it's still good a couple of years after it's released, I might get it. But I've now got a frozen game. Oh, no, I've actually got a frozen PC. No, I haven't. What is it with what happened today, man? It's got to be one of the worst days for random faults. Can only but apologise. Don't know what I can do. It's working. It's working. It's unfrozen. Let me just check my CPU is not having something, because I'm having so many issues here, but CPU, you know, I'm having lots of windows open and stuff. There's not much I can minimize. Beyond ATC is adding things, of course, so obviously I've got OBS running, I've got Beyond ATC running, I've got the Sim running, Sim Brief running, Navigraph running, YouTube running, and then I've got my streams up to monitor. But my memory's at 32%, SSD 1%, so it's not working. The GPU's at 43%, and the CPU's up at 70. Sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 80, and I mean, it's not firewalled at 99% the CPU, so, you know, it will peak up to 90-100%, so I do think I am having some CPU issues, but no surprising really how old it is. Only got, you know, my CPU's only got 6 cores, but, you know, 6 cores back when I bought it was like, you know, best thing since sliced bread. So, but a pause I can get away with. Might kill the music. Close Sim Brief down now that we've loaded it. You see that 89% of pre-orders for GTA are more the expensive version too. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that just, I don't know, there's a lot of sort of addiction in the world and mis-selling, whether it be sport or anything. People just hype shit up. I mean, the cost of tickets to the World Cup, I mean, what's all that about? But the thing is, people pay it. I felt, I mean, obviously I've not got a lot of money, and it's, you know, it obviously colours all my views and opinions, but, you know, I used to have more money than I have now, but still, you know, for some people dropping 100, 200 quid on a game's nothing, but these companies can only charge prices for a game or for sport or anything if people pay it. If people didn't pay it, I watched a video the other day that said that 10%, sorry, 80% of US taxes are paid for by the 10% richest people. So all these people like nurses and doctors being taxed, you know, it's it's a drop in the ocean, you know, it's all taxes from. So, and if you know, it was a video about, it was a financial video thing about stocks and shares, and this guy talking about how the US might collapse and its currency might collapse, but yet the stock markets at the moment are going up. A well-known guy in the UK that has a channel. But I've sort of been forced into not getting games on release now anyway. But generally, I don't think even if I had the money, I would go back because, say, day one patches, all this sort of stuff, and the bill shock. So I don't pre-order, and I don't even buy on day one. You know, for me, getting a game within the first month of release is now quite a commitment. And actually, you know, generally I get a much better experience because all that sort of, oh, I can't log in the server and it's doing this, and oh my guys, I've got no faces on my character. You know, I avoid all that now. You don't really lose anything by waiting. I mean, if the game's good or whatever it is, and if it's an absolute shocker, either because of performance until it gets made, then you skip it if you wait. And if the game itself is really terrible and other people say it is, then you can dodge a bullet and just not buy it. There's very little, you know, when you think, what are the advantages of getting it on day one compared to the advantages of getting it later? They're very little, apart from, you know, saying to people, well, I'm playing it, and feeling like, well, you know, I think for streamers it's a little bit different, because if you're a streamer and you're trying to rely on showing the latest thing, then of course you don't want to be doing it, you know, a lot of my stuff, if it's a year late or a couple of years out of date, then of course people have moved on, so that doesn't sort of help the channel. But I've also bought stuff on day one release and streamed them. It's, you know, my channel's so small, it makes no difference now. So, but I can understand with some of the biggest streamers, you know, they get, but they don't. The problem is they don't pay for it. You know, the big guys get given keys for the games anyway, and the really big guys get paid to play the game as well as get given the game. Some just get keys, but a lot of people get paid to stream it for a set amount of hours, you know, per week or something. Right, let me make sure I've got all the chats in. There's not much going on YouTube. My YouTube fans have deserted me. I've yet to fiddle around with this 2K thing on, but at the moment I've had so many problems. I'm trying to get my OBSs and Streamlabs to do 2K as they asked with at the moment. What am I going to have for lunch today? More noodles. Just enough bread and butter to do some kind of sandwich combination. Yeah, the thing is, I was never a huge GTA person anyway. You know, I played GTA 5 and did the story mode beginning to end, and I enjoyed that. And in fact, I sort of played it twice, because I think once I was on console and I got about 2/3 of the way through and then didn't finish it, and then I did it on PC and finished it. But I never really played online properly. I mean, I tested it and stuff, but you know, wasn't playing with friends and stuff, so. You know, and that's not to say it wasn't bad or anything like that, but, you know, I much prefer things like The Last of Us and, you know, even a Call of Duty I preferred playing when I, you know, had better reaction times and stuff. Let's hope we don't have any more open issues today. Right, where are we? We're over there, still got a chunk. Tangas can start ironing his speedos, and Oxen can go down the shop and get his 10 quid and ask for it all in pennies. And, you know, make stacks of coins. I'm surprised I'm having these issues today and I'm using Microsoft 20 because most of the game issues I've had are in 24. But having this plane not moving in taxi, and it's been this plane, so it could be, but then I didn't have it before, so I can't imagine it's the sim or the plane having, you know, because it doesn't just stop working, but something. I have a feeling it could be beyond it, because beyond ATC is the only sort of new thing that I've added in. Are they still with me? Shall I do a radio check?
Logger 007, radio check.
Logger 007, readability 5.
Okay, I've chosen for minor. So there's like a level of 10 of traffic you can have en route as well as at the destinations. So en route I've got it set to 3 out of 10. Otherwise would be constantly listening to other planes' radio and stuff. If you're using the premium voices, that would use it up. Make it very snacky. What have I got? Let me go get a drink. Some people on YouTube that are using Microsoft Flight Sim 20 or 24, so let me know how their experiences are going at the moment with Sims SU6, beyond ATC, etc. No, I don't boxing really, but on a scale of 1 to 10, what I care about GTA is probably about a 1.5. But I don't know, they probably think enough of their market needs to, they obviously can't get it to perform properly at 60 reliably. You know, it's the old adage of over-promising, under-delivering. Found down the back of the fridge. Obviously, I bought a pack of little mini Twixes. They're not very big, you know, they're not even 2 inches long. I'll do for my snack. Not a big chocolate eater at home, but sometimes I'll just buy some Kit Kats. Quick, like mini Twixes, and have it a bit like a biscuit with a cup of tea, I think. Just gonna get back my tube. License crap. I was reading up to the next Intel chips. The next 2 to 3 actually look pretty damn good. We could be, the new chips coming out this autumn could be 52 cores and 44 cores, and they're not going to have the issues of the past ones because they're, well, the top chips are dual tile. Massive leap, probably the biggest leap in Intel chips in about 8-10 years.
Logger 007, contact Gander Oceanic 132.1, have a good morning.
Over to Gander Oceanic on 132.1, thank you, goodbye. Gander Oceanic, this is Logger 007 with you at flight level 380.
Logger 007, Gander Oceanic identified.
I want to get Strata. This is the one that's just come out. But again, I won't get it until I've got solid 24. Although this does actually work for 2020 as well, so there's probably no particular reason. But it's got a nice dashboard doing the weather, and I've seen it tested. It looks pretty amazing. Let's just say it's suffering from this in, but it came out on something like 17th of July or something. So $30 for just 24, or $36 for both. And then the other one is Rex app call. Again, this is, I think, is it 24 only? Or Rex or something. This one. So one does how it looks, and the other does the atmosphere. So Atmos Core will overwrite the Microsoft thing, so it's affecting things like the winds and, well, just the atmosphere, the actual atmosphere itself, which, when you think about it, that you spend all your time flying through it. So it's about £11, so not expensive. Or Strata's more. I mean, it's about £25 or something. But again, I don't think really I should get those until I've at least bought 24. Now, I'm constantly making lists of things I want to buy or should buy, and then taking like forever and a day to get around to actually getting some of it.
Gander Oceanic KLM 661 Heavy, flight level 350. KLM 661 Heavy, Gander Oceanic identified.
But I've now got a whole bunch of stuff. So, you know, there's Microsoft 24. I need to get GSX, which is the ground handling app. Rex Atmos, Strata, Low Pro, which is a different interaction for how you basically use everything. Instead of using this bar at the top, you have a dial, but it makes it far easier to change the weather, and that's called Flow Pro. That's for 24 only, really. There's probably about 200 quid worth of things I still want to buy the software, which includes the cost of getting the game. And then there's probably two to three planes I want to buy, and then separate from all that, then is if I want to have throttles and rudders, and so I costed it outright, including a new PC. I'd probably need to spend about 8 grand. Because like the PC would be like nearly 4. I need some new monitors. I'd like to get a 4K monitor in the middle and 2Ks left and right. At the moment I've got a 2K with 2 old 1Ks left and right. My old PC. So that's most of it. But the hardware is about 1,500 quid. The software's about, well, anywhere from as little as 200 to 300 quid up to like about 1,500 quid, depending how many planes and airports and other stuff that you buy. So come on, Boxing, you need to get on and win that lotto. I'll give you personal flight instructions for your Microsoft. Talking about GTA. It's not even coming out on PC on launch date, is it? I think isn't it a bit later on PC from console or something? Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. But they're not bringing out. So launch day, they don't bring out multiplayer. Multiplayer's not coming out on launch day. So I don't know if they've committed. I think it might not be till Christmas. It might be 2 to 3 months later before they do the multiplayer, which is also another crazy thing. This is quite a nice view here. We've got like a gap in the cloud coverage there. Now one thing Beyond ATC has, which is quite nice, is the radar thing. This is picking up, as I say, real flight radar traffic, although it's probably set to my settings of how much I'm showing. So these are real flights. So this is a 787-900 by looking at it. About 36,000 feet. Back here is something at 32,000 feet. That is a 752. Is that Iceland Air then? No, UL. United Airlines. Then you got these people all flying direct probably to the States. Little old me here. LGA 007 at 38,000 feet, like P80. That's a. But anyway, it's quite good. It just does the range, but you can show. I can show trails, show speed and all. and as I say, I can add or minus the amount of traffic a bit by choosing how much I've got injected in. But yeah, on the panel here we've got traffic on, and I've got the density set fairly low, 3443 at the moment, just to try and not overstretch things too much. Right, so we've got 140,
United 9073 Heavy.
probably about 250 miles to get to Umsek, and then we'll be
973 Heavy, Gander Oceanic identified.
sending into Narsarsuaq. I mean, obviously these type of games, you know, you need to be into flying and stuff to enjoy, but, you know, I've always said I'm not really a one-game person, but if I ever was a one-game person, it probably would be Microsoft Flight Simulator, because of all the systems and complexity and, you know, just how, you know, my brain, it's amazing how much your brain can take in. I know once you said boxing, you're amazed how much I knew when I was flying one of the flights before. I mean, I get more worked up about things to do with the PC when odd stuff happens that shouldn't happen, but, and I'm, you know, I'm not, I still make mistakes, like because you're not doing proper checklists and you get into flip switches or something, so there's nothing to stop me doing checklists if I wanted to take it to that level. You know, and then as I say, I do think with these games, whether it be 20 or 24, you do feel like you're travelling.
Speedbird 26 Echo Heavy, flight level 370.
You know,
Speedbird 26 Echo Heavy, Gander Oceanic identified.
you can do bush flying over the outback in Australia, or, you know, in Airbus into, you know, JFK Airport in New York or something. It's all pretty, build your oyster, as they say, but God knows how good, like, some of these games are going to be, like, in 10 years' time. You know, Microsoft 2038 or something will probably be pretty amazing. Of course, you'll need a 20 grand computer to run it, but that link I sent you, Boxing, about that, guys, I mean, that was just, I mean, he's got quite a lot of the gear and stuff, but if you go to Google, so not Google, YouTube, and put in like home built cockpits on Microsoft Flight Simulator, I mean, there's people with like full size cockpits in their garages, and, you know, 2 seats, and you can stand up in the cockpit, and and they got, you know, triple 40-inch monitors everywhere in the room, and, you know, I mean, it's me faffing about some pedals and a rudder, you know, and some throttles and stuff. It's, I mean, people have spent tens of thousands of pounds on cockpits, and you know, I think it's great that that stuff exists, that people can do it if you've got the money, but, you know, you need the space, you need the money, and if you're married or kids or whatever, you need, you know, it needs to be that, you know, you're managing the bills as well as building a full-size 737 cockpit in your garage or something. But there was a phase, they don't really do them now, but there was a phase around the 2000s where you could go to some shopping centres and they had things like 737 cockpit simulators. I mean, they were quite expensive. They were like 100 grand simulators. They weren't movement ones, as in they weren't moving up and down like the 20 million pound ones that the airports have, the airlines. But you could go up and they were pretty expensive. You'd have to pay like 150 quid, 120 quid for like an hour. But you could go up and And just, but you know, I always thought, man, if I could have one of these in my bedroom or something, that'd be it, in heaven. A friend of yours is fully into pinball simulation. Pinball simulation? You've got a 4K screen and a real pinball machine with motors and weights to make it feel like really nice. Well, I mean, it's a shame because, you know, when I grew up in the sort of 70s and 80s, and you would I mean, you know, we had things like the arcades, and although everything's better now, you know, as far as graphics, there was still something about going to playing on a real pinball machine, or, you know, asteroids or something, and but they soon quickly became, you know, you'd have to pay £1 for, like, you know, a minute of play or something. They soon became, when they first came out, they were fairly cheap, and people would go to arcades, you know, at the local street, or if you were anywhere near the coastline. I mean, a lot of rich people have proper pinballs in their houses, don't they?
American 49er Heavy, Gander Oceanic, identified.
You know, maybe if I win that £4 million home down in Cornwall, I'll set up a snooker table and a pinball machine and some stuff in a proper games room. You know, because then you'd have the racing simulator, you'd have the flight simulator, probably multiple flight simulators, one for an Airbus, one for a Boeing, one for general aircraft. Then, you know, your pinball machines, your pool tables, snooker tables. I mean, nothing too, you know, I wouldn't do basketball or anything like that. I wouldn't be jumping around at my age. You know, obviously a jacuzzi, but there's a swimming pool and bar in that house anyway. Only £4 million. I mean, you know, maybe whoever wins it, I'll offer them £5 million for it if and when I win the Euro lottery, when I win 100 million. We can actually see the coast of Greenland here now. It might look like a bit of cloud, but this line here is Greenland. And so the very southern tip of Greenland is not quite as covered in snow, and it's kind of funny that they call it Greenland because there's virtually no green in Greenland. But yeah, we're going to fly over this bit, which is all going to be snow and ice. But really, as far as sort of livable bits, you've got this area down here near Narsarsuaq, and then up here is the is it Nook? You know, and these sort of coastlines, and then everything else is just, you know, and it's massive Greenland, although it's made a little bit bigger than it looks like with all the, what's the map, world map everybody's got used to, as countries aren't to the right size. The United States looks a lot bigger than it is. Other countries are made smaller because of the way that
KLM 661 Heavy, contact Narsarsuaq, radar 121.3.
So we won't descend until just before Umsak, really, so we've got still quite a long way to go. But also, you know, I mean, I'm not flown. Well, I've flown at 38,000 feet before, only commercial. But I'm trying to think how high I flew. I think rarely did I get above 5,000 feet in my PPL flying. I think the highest I went, I think once I went about 7,500, 8,000 feet. In the PA-28, but I don't know what it is for me, but I just don't tire of looking at this type of view. You know, whether you're a pilot, whether you're a passenger. You know, I never understand people that want to sit on a plane and sit in the aisle seat and not look out the window. I'm like, you know, why would you do that? You know, I mean, if you have to and there's not enough seats and stuff, okay, you get some people that are 8 foot tall and need to be, but I mean, it's such a shame, you know, one of the best things about flying is being able to, you know, see out the windows. Of course, the pilots get a much better view, got a lot more cockpit views, and also it's quite different being able to look where you're going rather than just looking side out of the plane.
Air Canada 937, flight level 360.
You know, where you know, you can't. You're only really seeing what you've passed by rather than what you're flying towards. A bit like a car, you know, it's much better at looking forward in a car than it is just looking out the side window. So if you ever get the chance to be up in a cockpit in a plane, it's quite a thing, just because of the view. I've got another Discord bot. Codex. It created his account. Account created a few hours ago. Account suspended or deactivated. Voids are a name for things that behave like a flock of birds or a school of fish. I sometimes just sit and watch the cubes fly around. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit more animals and some stuff in Microsoft 24, but they haven't really, I think it's too graphically too hard to get like proper bird flocks and everything flying in. Obviously you get that all in real life. If you just watch any of the airport cams and stuff like that, you'll see lots of birds and geese and starlings flying around. I mean, there's lots at Heathrow. But yeah, just a nice view and nature and things like that. It's just nice. No, this isn't real, it's on a computer, but you feel now with the Microsofts and stuff, you can get it to a stage where it's beautiful to look at and obviously accurate enough that you can hand fly, recognizing coastline and areas now, so it makes a big difference. It does, you know. I mean, I've probably flown every plane or flight sim stuff from the stuff in the 70s with dots and lines and beeps and things that you would just laugh at today, but you know, I think I can't remember if there was the Flight Sim 97, there was I remember how the Flight Sim 2000 and yeah.
Logger 007, leave on stock heading 269er. When able, proceed direct Narsarsuaq Airport.
I'm going to leave UMSAC heading 269 when able, prior to direct Narsarsuaq Airport 007. It wants to leave heading 269, but that's...
Air Canada 827 Heavy, contact Gander Oceanic 124.725.
Contact Gander Oceanic 124.725, Air Canada 827 Heavy, have a good morning.
I think it's just... I don't think I really need to turn here, because we're just going to be making that turn anyway. I'll wait till I'm past here. I think we need to make it as it's just turn a few degrees to the left.
Gander Oceanic, Air France 908 Golf Heavy, good morning, flight level 330.
So UMSAC is, we've got it there, 143 nautical miles.
Gander Oceanic identified.
Is what that says, 146, so... I need to go to the loo in a sec. I need to check.
Gander Oceanic, Air Canada 845 Heavy, flight level 400.
Air Canada 845 Heavy, Gander Oceanic identified. United 973 Heavy, contact Narsarsuaq, radar 121.3.
Center on 121.3, United 973 Heavy, good day.
What are we doing for fuel? It should be enough to get there. Yeah, so that's right. So we're going to come to NA, which is Narsarsuaq Airport. We're literally going to fly over the airport as a point of beacon. And then we're going to fly down to Teski. And then a series of 90-degree turns to come back and land.
Logger 007, contact Narsarsuaq, radar 121.3.
Over to Narsarsuaq, radar 121.3, thank you, goodbye. 77077. Narsarsuaq radar, this is Loganair 007 with you for flight level 380 towards UMSAC.
Logger 007, Narsarsuaq radar identified. Logger 007, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent. Well, we don't need to do that for a long time yet. Let's acknowledge it, we don't need to.
Eco Logger 007.
He's just saying. Don't need to talk to us until you're ready to descend. So again, I don't have auto throttle, don't have VNAV in this plane, so we need to do it ourselves. Don't need to do anything yet. We'll just have a look here at the RNAV approach. Have I got the right one? Escape. So let's just look at a few things. So this is the RNAV, the Narsarsuaq runway 6. The final approach course is 061, so we can put that in as an approach course. But we don't need to do that yet. But here's Teski, so we get to Teski. Let's have a look. What's the NDAs here? Transition altitude is 9,000 feet by ATC. We do MDA 1800. We've got a lot of stuff that's higher than that around. So we come to Teski and then we fly up to this B106 and BWF 06 and then M06. And that's the same thing represented here, so 4,800, then 4,000, 3,000. So usually I will probably put in the ILS height, although it's not an ILS, it's an RNAV, so they want us at 3.3. The airport itself is at an altitude of, have a look, let's look at the airport chart. So its elevation is 112 feet above sea level. Right, I need to go to the loo. I'll be right back. Chat with me.
runway 06. Logger 007, expect runway 06. Logger 007, Narsarsuaq radar.
Was that a radio call for me? Nice.
Expect runway 06, log 007.
Narsarsuaq radar, American 49er Heavy, flight level 350.
American 49er Heavy, Narsarsuaq radar identified.
I've still got 97 miles, so... Right. Let's start thinking about the landing now. I need to make sure I close my skylights a little bit because it's got a bit of rain coming in the next hour, maybe. 60% chance. Out us him. Do that, 17 miles. So I don't know if it says a height here because we're not really... There is no arrival for this airport, just the approach. But I mean that's 4,800, and then but some of these mountains are... This one's 5861.
007, descent flight level 190.
Okay, that's going to do it for me. Descent to flight level 190, 007. I think that's early. Then 89 miles. Okay, let's follow what they're telling us to do. So, whoops, that's heading. So flight level 19. Will take us a while to get down, but it's a lot quicker getting down than it is up, of course. I might wait till we get to 80 miles. He's probably going to remind me again. But we've just crossed over the coast. Some are 24 when I look at it, it's like too rounded. This is 20. And from up high, I still find the ground is a bit more defined. It depends, because, you know, 24 in some locations looks better than 20. And then in other times 20 looks, I think, better than 24. Because, it's, you know, you don't get the pop in and... Anyway, we've got some cloud over there. And then we're heading over this way where there's quite a mountainous area. Okay, let's descend. I'll do flight level change. And we're going to need to come off the power because we are going to speed up doing this. Sunning it, still going too quick, but okay, bring the power back. Gets us into the descent. So I think we're going to go 19,000, then we're going to go something like 8 or 10. and then 4.8, and then the rest going in. What was kind of weird because transition altitude is 9 here. We'll do that at 9 or 10 for the barrow and the lights. But I've got some pretty big mountains here, 7,500 over here. Pesky here is 7.5, it looks like we need to be. If we're 10 at the airport or something, then 7.5 for Teskey I think we'll be fine. Don't forget the landing gear. Oh yeah. Give me a reminder to check as we're on approach. It wasn't I really forgot I pressed it. I'm not used to the buttons on this new wing control. I pressed a flat button thinking I'd already put the and then failed to check. So it wasn't I forgot to put the carriage down. I thought I put it down when I had. So what we need to do is make sure I have got the undercarriage down on approach this time and not land belly up. A few layers of cloud here, looks quite nice. So we're coming down 1,000 foot a minute. It's quite a slow rate. I could probably come off the speed a bit here, but dropping it at a faster rate once it recalibrates. Walk down to here. The torque down to just about 60. $62 so 19. Well, I don't know if it wants 19 at UMSAC, but still going to be a bit high for getting 10 because then it's distance between UMSAC and the airport is only 17 miles.
KLM 601 Heavy, contact Oceanic 124.725.
Center on 124.725, KLM 601 Heavy, good day.
Narsarsuaq radar Air France 998 Golf Heavy, good day, flight level 330. Air France 998 Golf Heavy, Narsarsuaq radar identified.
Right, what's our fuel? 762, we're fine. Fine for fuel. 10 miles here, let me zoom this back out again. So yeah, we're about 50 miles. Probably do need to come down at a better rate. So I'm actually going to change to VS and put in say 1,600 feet a minute. And then we're just going to have to bring the power back to try and you can either descend by a rate of speed or a vertical speed. A little bit of weather out there, well, clouds, not sort of weather per se, but the weather is on. The weather radar still shows it's clear. I've not got any rain or. And then the other leg we need to do is through here. Looks like we're going to go through a major storm, and then Goose Bay is here. Yeah, CYR. So this is Goose Bay. So that's our next destination. But we probably will land and I can reset everything, get some lunch, either stop the stream and restart or just keep the stream going. But I'm hoping to get this leg to Goose Bay in today. and then the next parts then will be getting Goose Bay into, you know, I mean, if you think about it, it's not just like it's so far west, so it's going to take me probably 2 legs to get to anywhere close to Chicago area, but we might come over this way because ultimately, you know, we're coming over to San Jose, which is just south of San Francisco. I think it's this airport here. All runways, yeah, San Jose. So that's the airport that we're ultimately going to on this trip. So all really inspired by Fly with Owen thing. He hasn't put up his second trip yet, so he hasn't done his flight. Well, he's probably done his flight, but he tends to put the videos up like 1 a month or something. He's taking this plane across a very similar route to what we're doing. So he did Glasgow, he did Reykjavik and Narsarsuaq and Goose Bay, but as I say, he's only posted the journey to get to Iceland. Does it snow in Rotterdam every year? I doubt it. They're at sea level there, so they don't really have any altitude, so you know, it's like, does it regularly snow on our coast in South England? Oh, that's pretty much a no. It can do, of course. I wouldn't have thought. Right, so we'll keep an eye on that, and we're going to get some nice, lovely, stunning views. So we'll be on the ground within an hour, probably. I did sort of think everything's a little bit late today because of some of the issues that we had getting going. Down to 9,000 feet, QNH 1019, log air 007. So he wants us down to 9, which is kind of, I guess, what we want at the airport. Okay. So we're above that descent profile. I don't know if that's picking up Narsarsuaq with the 19, but we've just changed it, of course. But yeah, 25 miles plus, what was it, 17? Bring the speed back, we're about to overspeed. Don't have air brakes or anything in this plane. But yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? A nice little bit of cloud that we're going to fly under or through. Nothing major, but should make it a pretty approach. Not had to change the ATC again. Often when you're changing frequencies they do ask you different transponder numbers, but I don't know if Beyond ATC does it. Most of the flights I've done But that's only been a couple. I only got beyond ATC, what, 10 days ago or something. But pretty much it seems to be one code and then that's it. But sometimes I think in real life you change transponders a little bit more frequently. Right, now we will probably need to reduce speed, not only for just manoeuvring speed and everything. I don't think we're not doing a proper choke. Doesn't say.
Narsarsuaq radar, Air France 84 Echo Heavy, flight level 320.
Say,
Echo Heavy, Narsarsuaq radar identified.
I mean, it's 210 at B106.
007 descent to 6,300 feet.
I'm going to want 230 or 220 probably when we fly over the airport. So maybe 250 here and then 230 there and then 210 here. Which if we're diving down like a mad idiot, it's going to be hard to do. I'm going to come off the speed quite a bit here because we are well above the profile. So if that, I don't know quite how this works. I think it's still feeding off UMSAC. So I think it thinks 9,000 for UMSAC, we're not going to make it, which is fine. I need to make 9,000 by NA, so once we pass UMSAC, which is in 9 miles, it will recalibrate, but 9,000 is not going to put me much above. A lot of these mountains are 7 or 8. Let's just look on here. Do they have the heights of mountains here if we zoom in? They do on some of the peaks, 3.5. $4,000.
Logger 007 QNH1019er, expect radar vectors for Arnhem Zulu approach runway 06.
QNH 1019, expect radar vectors for Arnhem Z approach runway 06. Thank you 007. QNH 1019. So
Narsarsuaq radar, Lufthansa 3 Charlie Foxtrot Heavy, flight level 340.
I mean that's fine. I don't really need to go to offstand. I shouldn't be going until we get down to 10,000.
Identified.
Right, the speed's 220 now.
007, turn left, heading 255.
Turn left, heading 255. Oh, this is where beyond 80 they're going to start routing me a little bit. But in theory I should follow it because it should be navigating me around other aircraft that might be about, but we're not in a busy area, so it knows my flight plan, but we're coming off it a bit now. We'll see. I don't like that really because we're flying into cloud and mountains rather than this clear path which was originally. I think if I do have luck, I think it might be better to stop the stream once we land and then restart it as a save. I mean, as far as anybody watching for it, I'll just go again straight away pretty much, but 6-7 hour video on YouTube's a bit hard to, I want to try and get more people to watch the videos and comment on them and stuff, but so although I've said that I might just put a pause in so that we just record it as a
Air
second.
France 908 Golf Heavy, just got some nasty bumps at flight level 330.
Nasty bumps.
Air France 908 Golf Heavy, are you in need of assistance?
Negative, just wanted to let you know.
Roger, Air France 908 Golf Heavy, thanks for the PIREP.
My rep was some We've come off this line, so he might be taking me more directly into... If he's going to take us to NA or not. Might be taking me direct to Teski, but he's not told me that. Right, 15.9 for 9. Now it's looking pretty.
007, descend to 4,000 feet.
74,000 feet. I've got to fly over mountains at 4,000. Are you mad?
Negative, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, log air 007. Coming down. That was going to put. It's going to get me to crash into the.
Narsarsuaq radars with 6 Alpha Heavy, flight level 340.
Right, what's the speed? 227. That's okay.
Alpha Heavy, Narsarsuaq radar identified.
Yeah, but I'm coming up. We're not flying to NA, surely. You must be flying me direct towards. I'm going to take it out, but in case he reroutes us. Right, I might want some anti-ice on here, I don't know. -4. I haven't got any ice warnings. The pitos are on. But the windshield heat's on. I think he's flying me direct to Teski, but he didn't actually say that. He just said, go back to get it. Just said turn left 255. He's vectoring us in rather than. Right, I need to get my shit together. So, what was the course of the runway again? 061 or something? 061. So let me. Oh, I can't. We're flying on heading. Okay, 230, 11,000 for 4. Let's descend a bit quicker. 1,800 feet a minute. Come off the power a little bit to compensate because I've still got to drop 6,000 feet. I mean, it almost looks like it's taking me directly to BW106, in which case then I have to do a 90 degree, well, no, 180. The airport's down there somewhere, I think. We'll basically come in here, come around and back.
Log Air 007, turn right, heading 350, actors for the approach.
They don't really get me to come in, didn't they? Turn right, heading 350, vectors for the approach to 07. Ah! Towards the top of the 50. My god, he's taking me straight. I'm not gonna. He's turning me around well before. I'm too high.
Log Air 007, turn right, heading 045, vectors for the approach.
045 007. Oh, yeah. Crazy.
Negative, turn right, heading 045.
Right heading 045. This is going to go horribly wrong because in my view he's turning me too high and too close. I've not got enough. Turn around in, we'll see. There's the airport there. Right, let's come to the barometric. Let's do the lights. I'm gonna have to descend. Do 2 right off the power here. We'll have to go manual in a minute. This is all going to get pretty messy. That's the route I should have done, and he's vectoring me in, which is quite cool that he do these vector ins. I mean, it's going to take you to where you need to go, but right, 5.8 for 4, but I still need to get lower because we should be at 3.3 at BF. Still not directed me to go lower yet. Back to me somewhere else, man.
Logger 007, turn right, heading 110, descend to 3,000 feet, vectors for the approach.
Turn right to heading 110, descend to 3,000 feet, vectors for approach. Thank you. 007. What was it? 110.
Logger 007, 4 miles from before 7, turn right, heading 105, maintain 3,000 feet until established, cleared RNAV Zulu approach, runway 06.
Turn right, heading 105, 3,000 feet until established. Cleared RNAV Zulu approach runway 06, log Air 007.
Log Air 007, no tower services available at Narsarsuaq Airport, frequency change approved.
No tower.
Frequency change approved.
Well,
log Air
there's the
007,
airport runway
bye-bye.
there off to my left. I think I need to put gear down, which is the button. This one, I think. There's the gear. Let's give it a bit of power as we're leveling off. Sends 3,000 feet. First stage of flat to mid. At mid speed, but then I've got to bank it left. So established.
Log Air 007 on final approach 06.
So now there's
007, Roger.
it's very weird bringing it in at this angle. Okay, full flaps. I'm going to come off autopilot.
Narsarsuaq radar, United 139er Heavy, good day, flight level 320.
United 139er Heavy, Narsarsuaq radar, identified.
Speed here. Look high. Are there pappies in this place? I can't remember if there are. I'm off there. I've left the turn a little bit late here. Very misleading with all this snow in front to judge the height from the ground. I don't think there's even pappies here, you know. Overspeeding for flaps. It's a bit weird to control this speed. I'm having to use both my left and right hands on the side stick to my left when I get proper throttles. I've got some nice control with this stick now, but we're coming in a bit hot, a bit high, and I'm going to lose a lot of speed as we level off, but as long as we make the runway, that's the main thing. Quick check. And we've got this windsock in the middle of the runway, as I say, it's a default runway, so add a bit of power. Easy does it. Easy does it. Easy does it. Of course, unlike the airlines, we don't get the 10 feet, 5 feet, all that stuff. We're down, we're down. Nice, 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 nice. Get rid of the flaps. Although really, you wouldn't do that until you get your speed down, because... Okay, and we can make the first turning.
Narsarsuaq radar, log 007, 100 feet.
Whoops, 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 whoops. Sorry, wait, where's it? I didn't, yeah, without proper controls here, don't we need to be putting this to ground idle, otherwise you zoom around all over the place. And also, lights. That was quite a nice landing from what we were going with. No major bounces or floats, it wasn't quite on money, but it was also a bit of a weird approach because we were diving down from something that was... If I did the actual approach that was in the computer, I think it would have been a lot better, because we would have come in at a much straighter angle. He sort of turned me in quite early and high, and then basically like diving down. Yeah, the landings and the corrections should be a lot smoother with this controller now, but I'm gonna leave it there, even though I'm not using. Trying to control all this without rudder pedals and throttles is a bit all on the joystick. I didn't actually put the frame rates up either, and that's usually a bit easier to land if I had more FPS. Okay, we have made it to Greenland, Narsarsuaq. It's saying just a default airport, so chocks on, get GPU out, get the doors open. Everybody else, just enough time for some lunch at the airport. Thanks, Boxing. Oh no, we won't go. Isn't there a song about it? Oh no, we won't go. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother too much shutting everything down, because we're probably just going to reset the flight. It's a lot easier to do that. I've had a few issues not resetting the flights, like weird bug settings. Click right start for some reason. This guy's still trying to taxi me in. I'm tempted to load it in 24 to show what it looks like at 24. Sim brief doesn't work properly in this plane for 24. I might do one of the legs over to California on 24 just so we can have a bit of comparison, but maybe not this next one. I'm probably not going to be gone long. We'll eat the lunch, but I think you guys are around. I mean, whoever's around, I'm going to pretty much go straight into the next fight. Tier is now available on Steam. And I'm just wondering whether I should do 3 hours. Yeah, it's probably best if I break this on YouTube. I'll have to just re-edit the titles.
Narsarsuaq radar, Air France 22 Juliet Heavy, flight level 340.
So, yeah, I'll be back in 10-15 minutes, back on both channels for part 2.1. Otherwise known, I guess, is part 3. I mean, at the moment, the PC's now working. I mean, so I just want to reset the flight and get going again before having to do anything else. So yeah, I just need to go back to the main menu screen. I need to just do the sim brief, load it back in, and rejig things. So yeah, we'll be back probably at 2, if not just before. I'll probably have some munchies in front of me, and then we'll get it all ready to... Are we all ready to go to Canada? Maple country. But it is pretty... It's amazing, Canada, really, when you look at it, because you just think of it as this blob above the United States. But, you know, when you kind of look at these maps, we've got quite a bit of... Well, a bit more weather than we've had so far. But we're coming to like here to like Newfoundland, so across, mostly it could be across water through this weather and probably be above it. But just, I mean, like Quebec's here, so like, you know, New York's here, and you tend to think of it. There's so much of Canada that's to the north and east, because it's, you know, it stretches out. Yeah, and then it will take us in this plane at least, you know, another 3 or 4 parts to get across the United States in this thing. This thing's got about what, 1,500 miles total range, but that would be empty, max fuel or whatever. I think most of our so we've just done a 650 nautical mile. So yeah, most of the trips are going to be about 600-700 nautical miles, you know, and it's like 3 to go across the United States, although we're coming down. But yeah, we're going to need 1 to get. So I haven't planned it in yet, as I say. We'll have a look. So I'm thinking of flying. I'll have to check the ranges. If I can get down to if I can get down to Montreal, I will, but I have a feeling we might not get to Montreal, in which case I'll probably have to go to Quebec. And then if we get to Quebec, we won't do Montreal, but then we'd fly probably at Chicago, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know, it's a long way. But there'll be trips we'll do on another day. It's just going to take us a couple hours just to get to Goose Bay today, so... Right, so we'll be back shortly. I'll see you soon. Thanks very much. Thanks for travelling AirLG. And we'll be off and running. We're not staying in this cold climate too long. Let's just have a quick shifty. Whoops. That rotated around. Getting that up. Yeah, we haven't got any major airport facilities here. But a lot of these trees weren't here on 24. And I think 24 had some very weird, like it didn't have proper tarmac to tarmac runoffs. You had to go across some slopey snow. And the airport in 24 is worse than this one. Default. Don't know. There's probably a third-party one out there. Right. Okay. We will be refueling the plane and doing our next leg soon. I'll see you back in a little while.